So you came to this spot, dark place. Please, gruesome and bloody. Space in this channel. So you dare to explore my glorious and glorious mind. We're mark the bird of our glorious side of the channel.
Okay, enough of this silly voice effect, god damn it. But yeah, we ain't wrong. This is the birth of this spot here in the channel. This is the kill count. The kill count. Who would have thought we'd come to this spot after a few times that I was planning on doing on my fucked up little mind? Yeah, because besides being a wrestling fan, besides being the living shit out of my opponents, even in dead matches like this one, and besides playing some creepy ass punk rock music like the ones I've been showing up to you, I do enjoy a lot horror movies, slashers. That's right, and who would have thought that coming out to this age I would become one of the horror fans ever? Because trust me when I say this, when I was a little kid back then, traumatized to shit with horror movies. Even especially after watching some of the Child's Play saga movies. You know, Chucky and all that shit and stuff. Anyway, we came a long way to do this, and I cannot be so enjoyable and so excited to show up to you and to con off you the bodies that these movies had left them behind during their time. So we're gonna kick it off right away. Yeah. And now that we were talking about traumatizing stuff and traumatizing situations, what better way to start this kill count with one of the most traumatizing movies I ever experienced when I was a teenager or in the puberty. Yeah, I'm talking about this one, Final Destination 2. What a slasher, what a creative, and what a paranoid movie to all of us back in our time, right? It wasn't so traumatizing that the first time that I was watching that movie was inside a bus, going back through Cochabamba to a bus here when I was taking some vacations with my dad and my mom. And trust me, I couldn't sleep shit during that trip. So, what we're gonna do, simple as fact, we're gonna remember all those silly moments back in the movie, and of course, we're gonna count all the deaths over there. So, sit back and let's get into this shit. No, seriously, man. When I was watching that truck surpassing the bus, dear fuck, I was scared to shit, dude.
The movie began 1 year after the Flight 180 incident that took place. Getting stuck, his hands getting stuck into the sink. And there's a fire that started with those food because it's also an old apartment shit and stuff. And mayhem started to appear once again. Dad is just doing some silly stuff like, look at the fuck, he's just closing up the windows and stuff. And when the fires were hiding stuff, boom, he just get out of the sink and he knows he's trapped, so he crashes one of the windows with an old chair, and he gets out from one of the emergency exits. And do you remember that spaghetti? And do you remember why I told you? And right above it was that old emergency stair. He thinks he saved himself, but boom, the stair fell out in his right eye, and we have our fourth casualty on this movie. Really fucked up stuff. You ain't looking so good now, buddy?
Okay, who would have thought that you could be with your eye pop out by an electrical or by an emergency stir, right? But this is kind of sloppy and kind of for real in real life. Some article says that there have been some accidental deaths because of this kind of stuff. But you know, the build up for this death and stuff, like many others that we're gonna witness in this movie and also in the whole fucking Final Destination saga, it's way too ridiculous sometimes. But trust me, it was fatal, it was blurry, and it was a good start for this kill cam and a good made way to warm up the things here in this movie. So let's get into it later.
After we watch some unlucky death, we witness that Kat and many of the other survivors find out about Ethan's freaking windows crashing out at him. Jesus Christ.
Okay, for real, this is where it kind of started to creep me out or starting to get interest because that shit was bloody. I don't think it would be so heavy. I never thought that those windows were so fucking heavy to just crash to that little kid. And just imagine being walking around, minding your own business and that mall, and boom, you hear a big pop, and you find a million pieces of glass and a million pieces of body stuff. So it's just the second death, so we're gonna get into more stuff.
After watching some gruesome fatality, Kimberly finds out that there was one survivor left from the previous movie, and that's where, let's face it, she's still scared as fuck. Anyway, after some short thinking, she decided to get out of that room and help Kimberly, trying to help her in this new traumatizing experience. Therefore, there's a meeting with the other survivors of the movie, where they are also again complaining and trying to find some solutions about this death. And we see a depressed and heartbroken Nora who just lost her son and her husband, and she's lonely in this cold, sad world. Even though she's saying they just meet an old man with a claw in his hand and stuff, and we can witness some shitty stuff over there too, because let's face it, that is also showing up in some crazy ass ways. And then boom, the claw is grabbing Nora's hair while she's getting out of the elevator in a fancy and crazy way. The elevator starts to shut down between her head, and trust me boy, I wouldn't like to get my spine and my head decapitated like that because it's so fucking painful. And we watch our next casualty, and then we witness a completely scared Eugene watching at Nora's.
I used to live in a big building back in the day, and when I was getting into my condo, I always look up at the elevators. Do not shut down right on my limbs or one of my head or my legs and shit like that. So for all of you who live in condos and use a lot of elevators, be careful with those motherfuckers.
There we find out that Kimberly saw a pregnant woman on her premonition that could save them for such a fertility fate. Some crazy shit again, and we see Kat is trapped between the lock and the car wheel, and yeah, this fireman just said the stupidest lines I ever heard in a movie.
Just put it on quiet mode.
That would be good.
I'm gonna put it in quiet mode. Really, dude? Anyway, that quiet mode provokes that Kat gets impaled with one of the fucking sticks aiming at her head and her eye popping out. Yeah, dude, that quiet mode really worked out. And did I tell you that Kat was smoking? Well, I was too focused on that fucking stupid line, and the cigarette just turned on the light that makes explode the news car, the news van, and some barbed wire sticks and stuff gets through this guy, and yeah, chops him in 3 pieces. That was fuck.
This was a completely recipe for fucking destruction and for fucking mayhem, dude. Like, seriously? How the fuck can you go on quiet mode when you have this side of lock that is, I don't know how thick or how big it is, to just put you on there and just, yeah, to just pump it, and when you know there's a fucking stick up aiming at your fucking skull. This is pointless. Like I said, many of these that are kind of ridiculous in this movie or in the saga, but man, it was a completely chaos. Now the second one, this one, I probably can say this was one of the best ones in the movie. Was creative at least. I don't know if that would happen to you in real life. Even I'm kind of scared because at some point I want to do a barbed wire match, and if that stuff happens, probably will be cataloged as the glorious match of all time. But anyway, I give kudos to that dead, and it's kind of ridiculous for me that one with the fireman and that woman getting her eye popped out of the socket with a stick. And it's getting better. Let's get into it.
And after watching some random and gruesome fatalities, we see that Eugene is on the emergency room, finding are roasted as fuck in this scene. Goodbye, clear. You will be missed for sure. Better than Alex at least.
Going away like that way, it kind of makes sense and poetic justice, just to see how many of her former friends in the prequel of this movie went away. It was a poetic justice for me, in a good way, and way too much good, like the other protagonists that we kind of talked at the beginning of the video. So, rest in peace, Clear Reapers. Thanks for nothing, at least.
After knowing that she screwed up that situation and many of the survivors are dead now, it's kind of the same place where Cat and the other guy in the barbed wire died. Anyway, this kid is going out for some burgers and boom. Yup, we cannot have a happy ending in this saga, AG. And we see a grill hand on top of the table, and that's the end of the fucking final destination. What a gruesome way to say goodbye.
Yeah, this movie ends with one of the best dishes that you can ever experience. A barbecue with a fucking arm on it, on top of it. And that was it. One of the glorious, kind of ridiculous, but also one of the best ones in the Final Destination saga. Final Destination 2 was a completely topic for everyone back there, back at the time. It was traumatizing for all of us, but it's very good during the saga. It kinda high up the stakes after the prequel and put like the way or the recipe for future movies on the saga to be that kind of gory and that kind of creative in some deaths. I have to give it to that too. So, thanks for watching this video. I think we're just getting started. We're just kicking off this side of the channel with a kill count. It's gonna be more and more of the favorite horror movies up there, even my horror movies that I love so much. But this channel is for us. You help me choose this movie above another one that is so good. It was a classic one. So we're gonna keep doing this on my socials. But you better stay tuned. You better get fucked up. You better get sick when you do these choices, because yeah, this part is for that, to get into our wildest and craziest and bloody desires. So hope you like it. Enjoy this channel, enjoy this video anytime you want. Go check it out. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and I'm pretty sure we'll see in another dead video. Let's get into it. It's just getting better, baby. The band is out. Behave yourself, goddammit. Yeah.
Ha 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 ha.